So in this week's Daily Race B, we raced at a circuit I can't pronounce correctly, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. But the dominant car seemed to be the Genesis G70, and the alternative would have been the Citroën. But anyways, let's dive straight into the race. So, in this first race, I started in P2. And starting off the race, I wasn't quite the quickest car on the grid. I never really felt like I was the fastest. I never qualified in P1, but I seemed to consistently qualify in P2 and P3. But heading into turn 1, the driver up in front immediately runs wide. That gives me an opportunity to overtake. So coming into turn 3, he leaves the inside open, so I send it. I don't usually do this. And I get a really bad line, but so does he. He runs off. And now, coming up into turn 5, the car behind, I thought for sure he'd go for a move, but he didn't. This particular corner, it's very difficult to pass through there. But now coming around to turn, I believe turn 7, technically. Coming down into turn 7, I run wide. I didn't seem to be very quick through this section compared to the other cars in my group. So the car in front, look at how far he pulls away through that section. That just goes to show you how slow I am through there. But the car behind me tries to go for a move, but he surprisingly backs off, which is not normal. I have not seen a lot of people that drive that cautiously. But he backs off. The car in front makes a pretty big mistake. He runs wide, and I get a really good run out of that corner. So I try to send one up the inside. This is a very risky corner to overtake through. I get the move done. I leave him space. And on to the next lap. Our friend from behind sends one up the inside. He does run a little bit deep, so I thought I could do a little switchback, but I think he didn't intentionally run me off. He probably just didn't have good traction coming out of that corner. But I go on to lose another position as the driver originally in first sneaks up the inside. But I want that position back. So coming into this corner, I do another risky send. I find that I become a little bit more aggressive. But through here, he just runs wide. He doesn't get exactly a very good line through there. I found that I was very quick in the first sector, not quite in the second sector. But on the following lap, the same yellow Citroën tries one around the outside, and he makes it work, which was pretty impressive. The car behind me gives me a little bump draft. By bump draft, I mean I sort of blocked him, so he gave me an unintentional bump draft. But in here, try one up the inside. I don't know what happens here, but he just loses the will to drive. And as you can see on the radar, he just spins out. It's like he saw how confident I was, and he just decided that it wasn't worth the battle. But coming into the corner I believe I'm the quickest in compared to everyone else here, the Brazilian is going to phase through me as I serve my penalty for cutting a corner back there. He's going to get a penalty, however. I don't know how he got his penalty. But on the following lap, he's going to have to serve it. Coming up through here, we're approaching the penalty board where he has to serve his penalty. And I should get the position. I'm pretty sure it's a 1 second time penalty. He comes up to the marker. He serves his penalty. You can see just how quickly I'm gaining. He covers the inside, but not completely, so I try to send one up. He blocks it off. And I did not mean to do that. I sent him off. In my opinion, I think he was in the wrong because he made multiple moves defending, and you're not supposed to make more than one move when you're defending in real life. So, yeah, that was his fault. But on the final lap, I make a mistake on the final corner, and the Porsche behind me has a look at taking second place, but I just beat him at the finish line. That was a decent race, but I do think I could have done a lot better. But now, on to the second race, where I didn't exactly place higher, but I had some really good battling with the cars behind. As once again, I placed in third for this race. I qualified in third. I seem to consistently qualify in first, second, third, fourth, and fifth in these types of races, which is good. I don't always win, but on the first lap here, the Mercedes in front of me, I think I was more consistent than he was, as I can notice. I noticed he was struggling through this particular section of the track, and as you can see, I get a decent run. I'm in the slipstream. I think I kind of go for a bit of a bluff move here. I pull back onto the racing line. He runs a little bit deep. I get a little bit closer, but later on in the lap, the Citroen behind me, not the same Citroen from earlier, but he tries to move up the inside. I think he should have backed off, but he sends me into a spin. I save it, fortunately, but in doing so, I lose 3 positions, and I get a penalty for cutting track limits, even though I clearly got pushed off. But on the following lap, the Mazda up front, the red Mazda, I think he just runs a little bit wide. Maybe he comes in, he carries a little bit too much speed. But I go up the inside. I'm going to get the move done. But I'm still going to have to serve that penalty, which means that's all going to amount to nothing. And when I serve it, I'm going to lose 2 positions, which was very frustrating. And let me remind you that that penalty, quite frankly, had nothing to do with a fault of my own. But as I come through the corner I think I'm best at, I get a good run, and I try a move around the outside of the Mazda. I get it done, and I'm about to make another move on the NSX up here, the red Honda. He kind of pushes me in a little bit, but I make it work. And on the next lap, the Mazda gets a good run out of the final corner, and we basically have a drag race down to the first corner. He goes a little bit deep, so I try a switcheroo, and then he goes deep again, so I go for a double switcheroo. I hold the position. He tries up the inside through this corner. That doesn't exactly work, so I stay ahead. But coming in, I don't exactly get a great exit out of here, so there's still a chance he could go for a move. And like I was saying earlier, this isn't the best place to overtake. As you can see, he tries a move, he runs way too deep. I get a great exit, and I end up ahead of him for the rest of the race. And on the final lap, the Porsche and the Citroen in front, the Citroen who gave me the penalty, thank you very much, he and the Porsche are fighting. The Porsche doesn't get a great run through here. He actually gets shoved off a little bit. But I almost get 4th place. I was very frustrated, because honestly, I think I drove well, despite the fact I got that penalty. But it is what it is.